This, my friends, is the story of the benchmark versus the bargain. What I have here are two different mid-size sedans that truly compete with each other, but more importantly, one sets the bar and the other one is coming to crush it. What I have is a 2021 Mercedes-Benz E-Series 4MATIC and a 2021 Genesis G80 all-wheel drive. Yes, these cars compete, but we did something in terms of engines, and that's because the Mercedes-Benz has a straight six that's turbocharged, and the Genesis, the one that we have, is a four-cylinder turbocharged engine. So their horsepower numbers are a little off, but their MPG numbers are dead on. Starting at the back of the Genesis G80, you can see that they have this interesting dual personality. Lots of it repeated. With the taillights, you actually have two, and it curves around the vehicle and leads it to the next point, and it works in both directions, which is so cool. Look at this shoulder. Elegant. Nobody else does a blistered shoulder like this on a car like this. And then this character line, which goes all the way across this line, is diamond. Both vehicles have panoramic sunroofs. And then we move forward, and remember the dual personality? Boom, boom. They did it again. You know what else is awesome? These wheels. I love them. They're honeycomb style. 19-inch wheels. They come on the higher end package. Once again, dual section here, the driving lights and the headlights, and then you get to the grille. Now, the grille is pretty damn massive. Overall, very attractive design. Now let's move over to the Mercedes-Benz, and already there is one problem, but you can really tell that this section down here is fake. And I really wish they wouldn't do that. This is a really expensive car, and there could be vents there or something. It's just really noticeable that they're not open. Once again, a very elegant line that goes all the way across the car. Very nice curve that leads into the trunk. Rear taillights actually look really good on this car. Looks different than other Mercedes-Benz, which is nice. Then there's this down here. Really my biggest issue, fake exhaust. The exhaust tips actually are bending down about 3 inches further in. I don't quite understand why they do that. Why bother? As I said, these cars are really close in many ways. Trunk is interesting. Check this out, I'm gonna open it up. 13.6 cubic feet of space. It's not too bad. There are a lot of mid-size, inexpensive vehicles that would actually beat this. And one issue is down here. If I lift this up, you're not gonna see a spare tire. That's because it has run-flat tires on the normal version of this vehicle. However, whoever provided this vehicle to us, they put on the smaller wheels with snow tires. It's not a big deal. It still drives really nice. Alrighty, I wanted to show you something right here. This is actually a button to open the trunk. Check it out, 13.1 cubic feet of cargo space. Less than the Mercedes-Benz. Although it does look bigger, right? But here's the cool part. Under here, yep, that's donut. You get a spare tire. I really do prefer having a spare and losing a little bit of trunk space. One final thing, that does not say four-wheel drive. That's supposed to say all-wheel drive, which is a little weird on a car like this. 300 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. That is really impressive out of a four-cylinder engine. It really does move this car smartly. Now you can get a much more powerful V6. This engine is hooked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and because it's all-wheel drive, well, it does have a little tiny transfer case in there that sends power to the front wheels when needed. But the bottom line here is this vehicle's efficiency is pretty impressive. Combined MPG, 25. It's pretty good. Guys, you're looking at a 362 horsepower straight six turbo. That's right. It puts out 369 pound-feet of torque. It's a beast. And it's hooked up to a 9-speed automatic transmission. It's just powerful. And I love the fact that Mercedes-Benz has moved back to a straight six turbo. This setup with the 4MATIC all-wheel drive gets 26 miles per gallon combined. With the Genesis, they managed to build a remarkably comfortable, very usable interior. I really like the seat design. It makes me feel like I'm sitting on very comfortable, expensive leather seats. The same goes for this section up here, and I like the contrasting stitch. And this wood, just sumptuous, beautiful, beautiful setup. All the buttons here are absolutely top of the line. The other thing is this rotary dial. This is how you make the car move. Reverse, neutral, drive, push for park. I would say out of all the components in this vehicle, this is the one thing I don't like. Now, here's the big question. These vehicles are really important for those who want to transport human beings comfortably and in a luxurious manner from one point to another. As such, the back seat is extremely important. So let's go back there and let's talk about it. Lots of space, very good space. I'm easily fitting behind myself. I'm a big chunky monkey, I'm 6'1". I got tons of space. And what I like is the fact that you have controls here for your heated seats in the back. You have a nice little cup holder thing. This does, of course, fold and store. These seats do not fold down, but there is a pass-through right over my shoulder. And then right here, ventilation controls, very nice. Now, as I said, we're going to talk about the tech a little bit later, including these two screens in just a bit, but I did want to talk about just the comfort level and this sea of buttons. This is elegant, don't get me wrong. And the vents here are fantastic. I like them over the Genesis. I like the fact that there's that many in the directional and the round. When you look at the steering wheel alone and all of the buttons that are just right here, it's a little much, right? And then you have the paddle shifters here, and then you got all these door buttons here. It's a little overwhelming, and there's nothing wrong with that. I will say this. This vehicle's seating position and the seats in general are far more sporty, and they are very, very intelligent. They can move in several different directions. Just as importantly, when you go around a corner, it'll actually billow one of these side bolsters to hold you a little bit tighter. Now, let me show you the back seat. And in order to get in, I have to uncomfortably get my feet in here like this. The positives are really good headroom despite having a sunroof here. This all goes back and I'll have my own glass panel above me. That's nice. This is where the Genesis absolutely beats the Mercedes. Interior comfort does go to that car. It is much bigger inside. However, in terms of tech, wait till you see what the Mercedes packs. All right, there's a lot to tell you guys about the Mercedes and these two screens. By the way, both of these are 12.3 inch. They're huge. So you have this one glass pane, basically, and then underneath it you have the touch screen. And yeah, it is a touch screen. Now, not much goes on when you try to touch this section here. It just doesn't let you do anything. However, over here, oh yeah, you can certainly do that. First of all, I want to go to the camera, because that's pretty cool. You can go to all these different cameras. Look at this. Isn't that great? So you still have your 360 view from above, but then you can choose. This is really good. I like this. And then you can also go here and specify that you want the rear area. Look at that. So what do you get with the regular setup on this vehicle? Here we go. Dual zone climate control, multicolor ambient lighting, keyless go, keyless start, Bluetooth, Mercedes Me Connect services, 12.3 inch widescreen display, 12.3 inch widescreen digital instrument cluster, Mercedes-Benz user experience, MV navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, voice command, touchpad, heated front seats, power front seats with lumbar support and memory, multifunction steering wheel touch control buttons, that's these, power folding side mirrors, power tilt steering wheel, rain sensing windshield wipers. Bottom line on this vehicle is that it is a smorgasbord of tech. And when you're using this setup here, as you can see, it does correspond fairly well in its haptics. So as I move it, it's doing a little bump underneath, letting me know that I've done something different. See? You can almost hear it. Very different interior experience inside the Genesis. For one thing, it's not as complicated for the most part. And there are way less buttons. It does have paddle shifters like the Mercedes. Then you move over to this massive, absolutely huge 14.5 inch screen. It's just big. The setup works really well when you just use it on radio. But the problem is all the other settings. Check this out. You have this circle thing here. And watch it correspond to this. So as I move this, it's making certain things move around. Then if I push the button, it'll take me to different screens. But the problem is when you accidentally push a little too hard when you're like rotating, it'll go onto a different screen when you don't want it to, and that's a problem. One other thing you should see is over here. This is actually a screen for your heating and air conditioning control, including your heated and cool seats and your heated steering wheel. They make everything look effortless and simple, but it's actually quite technical. Okay, let's get going. This is a quiet, supple car. It has really, really good suspension tuning. I mean, it's just fantastic because I could throw it through a corner and it will grip. Yet, as I creep along, I mean, this car is silent, but this is not a performance sedan. They have a far more performance-oriented setup. Okay, foot all the way down. There it goes. That was almost a 2-second delay when I just slammed my foot on the accelerator. That's one of the issues with the 4-cylinder engine, the turbocharger, is the fact that it is a little laggy, but everything else is great. Oh, there is one more thing. You can hear it. Listen to this. It does make a snarl, and it's not a horrible sound, but it definitely is not as refined as, say, a BMW engine, or that Mercedes for that matter. Here we go again, listen. Yeah, so between the comfortable seats, the lavish interior setup, this thing is just the business. All right, let's take this thing for a cruise. Now we are talking about a very different vehicle. This is a lot more power, and it feels like it's a sports car by comparison. One of the things that's happening right now as we talk is that the bolsters are filling up. Every time I go around a corner, like right now, my kidney's being shoved through my spleen. It's really serious. Now let's do a little run with this vehicle. Okay, stand still, foot's down. Boom. That is the EQ power setup. So this powertrain actually has a little tiny electric motor inside of it that's providing a little bit of thrust as well. And what it does is when it engages, it actually mitigates the loss that you have with the turbocharger, because turbos have to spool up a little bit. This one gets you moving much quicker. Whoa. Yeah, this thing has some serious grip. It just moves. What an extraordinary car. Once again, Mercedes-Benz has managed to build a vehicle that people aspire to. The only problem is there's a car called the Genesis that's out there that's a hell of a lot cheaper and gives you almost all the thrills for a hell of a lot less. So what does it break down to? These are two very different cars, but they compete in the same class. Did Genesis manage to unseat Mercedes-Benz? No, they didn't, because Mercedes-Benz still has that handling quality that is absolutely essential for any Mercedes-Benz. They are just rockets, and they feel stable at high speed. The Genesis feels okay at high speed, and it's pretty good. The handling isn't quite there with the Mercedes. Now, I do understand that they have different powertrains, but all in all, they're actually pretty close, and that's the good news for Genesis lovers. Now, this vehicle, the E450 4MATIC sedan, starts at $62,000. That's before all the upgrades, which I'll read to you in a second. But this Genesis, as equipped, is $56,995. There is quite a difference between the two of them. Now, bear in mind that this Mercedes, with all the goodies that are attached, comes out to an astonishing $79,170. Yes, we can take the Genesis and put the V6 in there and build it up and make it more expensive. But I did that online, and there was still almost $15,000 difference between the two of them. Is the Mercedes worth $15,000 more? That's a tough one. Personally speaking, I say no, and that's because I'm a cheapskate. I buy old used cars all the time. But if I were to buy a new luxury sedan that had all the toys in it, that was really comfortable, and at the same time kind of went under the radar, this Genesis is absolutely it. However, it doesn't handle as well or feel quite as tight as the Mercedes-Benz. So take that to heart. I know if you want to write letters that are angry, just send them to Roman. Don't bother with me. I'll see you guys next time.